Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been quite some time since I made a video because I have been moving house and it has taken me a lot longer than anticipated to sort of get settled and unpacked and do all the things that, you know, comes with moving, and especially when you've built a house, there's a lot of new things that have to be done, and yeah, it's just taken me a lot longer. And during that time I sort of lost my creativeness, my creative mojo. It's still walkabout, I don't know where it's gone to, so anyway, hopefully it'll come back. I'm not really putting too much pressure on myself, but hopefully, yeah, it'll come back soon. So I thought I would jump on here today and just share with you a few thrifted finds that I found over the past weekend. I went away to Noosa, which is about 2.5 hours drive north, past the Sunshine Coast. For you guys that live here in Queensland, you'll know where Noosa is. And yeah, it was my 10-year wedding anniversary, so we took a little trip up there. We went and visited the beautiful Glasshouse Mountains, which is just absolutely stunning, you guys. I just can't wait to go back there. But anyway, in Noosa I went and visited some thrift shops. Of course, you know me, I just love thrifting, so I thought I would jump on and share with you guys everything I found at these thrift shops. So I didn't go to too many, I went to a few, but because it was my anniversary, you know, I didn't want to be spending all my time thrifting. So what will I show you first? I think first off I will share with you guys this beautiful quilt, handmade quilt. I can't fit it all in the camera here, but you guys can sort of see. I mean, so much work has gone into something like this, and it cost $5, which I think is really worth it. It's really large, and look at all the material that's gone into it, all this hard work. And I'm going to think of something special to do with this quilt. It's absolutely stunning, you guys. It's just beautiful. So that was my first find. So I'll pop that one aside. Trying to sort of think of what order I did things in, but I can't really remember, so I think I'll share everything. Another find, which actually I have to credit my husband for, because he came to me and he said, oh, this, you know, this looks like you. So I was really happy. And unfortunately they put the price sticker in here, and I tried to peel it off and look what happened. So I was really disappointed. But this says Moscow, and on the back, you know, again, Moscow. And so I don't know exactly what you call these. It's like a book, but if you can see, it folds out completely. So these are kind of like postcards, and yeah, it took me a while to figure out, because a lot of these to me look like they were paintings or drawings, but I think some of them are not. I don't know, I can't tell with the 50s, you guys. Sometimes things look painted and sometimes they're just photographs, but I think that's a painting. No, actually, see, that's not. You can see the people. So that's actually a photograph. And the same with this, and then this one here folds out to 2. I think that's the red square maybe. And yeah, so all of these amazing old pictures here, which I am going to cut apart and use. And this was only $1, which I thought was a really good bargain. It's got Russian writing and a little note there that says to Clip with compliments. And you can see here there's a map in here, which I think this actually would be really cool to be reused as a journal as well. So you can see on the back, I think it actually shows, yeah, look, the Kremlin, all that kind of stuff. So this was probably one of my favourite finds. So I'll pop that one aside. Another thing I found here was this beautiful hand-painted box. I've really been loving finding hand-painted boxes lately, and I found this one, so I think this was $4, but it's just beautiful. It's really unique. I found this one, and then probably a week or two prior to that, when I was at my second op shop, I did find this one as well. So beautifully hand painted once again. Such a unique thing, so I'm really loving that hand painted boxes. So next up we have got some flashcards. Now I am always seeing these amazing vintage flashcards that you guys get in America, and they're just not here, you know. The only ones that are here are these really recent flashcards, and a lot of the ones that I've seen anyway, well, most of the ones that I've seen, they have like cartoon images on them, which isn't really for me. And anyway, I was at this store, which was an amazing store actually, and I found these, and I was just gonna ignore them because I thought, oh, they'll have some sort of cartoony images that I don't really like on them. But I did open them up, and they don't, you guys. They're completely plain. Sorry. So I was really really excited because there was 4 packs in here, and they're just all plain. And I've never come across them, but I'm kind of thinking that when my kiddos were younger, I remember seeing this tin in Kmart when flashcards were really becoming a thing. And then I looked at the back, and I think it said 2001, so I think these are from 2001, so that would sort of match up to when I was might have seen them when my kids were young. But anyway, 4 packs of those, so I'm really happy to now be able to play around with the flashcards, because also the vintage ones that I do see you guys have from America, I don't know if I could really even alter them. They're that gorgeous. So these ones are quite newish, 18 years now. Do you consider that vintage? I don't know. But yeah, so I won't have any problems with altering these. And I apologise if you guys hear any construction today. My neighbour's house is actually currently being built, which is really exciting for them. But it's really noisy, and I sort of thought that I caught them on a lunch break when it had quietened down, but they're sort of starting back up. So I do apologise if you guys can hear drilling and stuff like that. So fingers crossed they keep it a little bit quiet. You guys don't hear. On the way back from our drive, I did stop into a Lifeline superstore, and I found a roll of vintage wallpaper. Once again, you guys here in Australia will know it's really difficult to find vintage wallpaper, unless you're buying it online, I think. So this was a really good find for me, especially in a thrift shop. So this roll was $5. I consider that pretty cheap for here. I know probably in America it's a lot cheaper because they're more common, but this is a beautiful, it's a very retro pattern actually, and I actually really like it. So here is a big roll of that. If you guys can see, plenty there. So yeah, Amanda, some of this stuff is coming to you as well. In keeping with actual wallpapers actually, this one didn't come from Noosa, but I did find this one at my local thrift shop too. It's a little bit hard to see the pattern on it, but it's actually really pretty. I don't know how well it's picking up on camera, but it's a really nice pink colour, and it's kind of got a shimmer to it, and it's really beautiful. And this was actually quite expensive, but I couldn't pass it up, knowing that, you know, it's really hard to come across these kinds of things here. So I grabbed that one, and I did grab another one that's not so nice, but I grabbed it because it was embossed, and I thought that's kind of unusual. They did have a few rolls of this, but if you can see the embossing on it, but it is embossed, and I did grab it. But it's not the nicest, but yeah, I thought I would play around with it. So that's a few vintage rolls of wallpaper. What else do we have? So we've got a couple of bags of lace here, and these bags were 20 cents each, and I picked these up at the Lifeline store, and it was I consider this a really good deal for lace. 20 cents for a bag. It was actually quite interesting because, you know, you get quite a lot here for 20 cents anyway. There were these 2 bags, and then in the bin next to it there was probably like this amount plus maybe one more worth in this one bag, and they wanted $7 for it. And I thought, well, how can you charge 20 cents for this, 20 cents for that, and then for only a little bit more you've gone right up to $7? So it's like, I was thinking that's pretty unreasonable, but you know, I guess it just depends on who does the pricing when at these stores. But sometimes they can be pretty unreasonable with their prices here in Australia. I remember even once I went in and they had priced a pack of cardstock which came from Kmart, and I know for a fact it was $2 in Kmart, and they had priced it at $3 at this thrift shop. And they even had the $2 price tag on the front, and I thought, what are you thinking? Why are you pricing this more than what it sells for in the store? So anyway, so there's that one for 20 cents, and then this one has got a few little bundles that are different colours. Oh, there's white and yellow. So yeah, you know, you can't go wrong for adding this sort of stuff to your lace collection, for making your little snippets and things like that. So I'll just pop those ones aside. We've got here a little packet of sweet vintage cards with these little babies on it, and I can never pass up these illustrations. They're just beautiful, and they're like this style that opens out like this, so you definitely know they're vintage because that's the way they used to make them. So very a sweet bunch of cards. Then we have a little pile of vintage postcards. Not too vintage, but vintage enough because you can tell sort of the back looks a bit more vintagey. So these are wildflowers, and then also sort of Australian flora. So this is Banksia, which is a native plant here in Australia. This one, what do we have? Just says wildflowers. And yeah, I think this was 50 cents for the bunch. Black kangaroo paw. And I love postcards. I love vintage postcards, and these are, I mean, to me they look maybe about the 80s. What's this one? White everlasting. This is a bottle brush, I think. No, it's a wildflower, so I got that one wrong. This one here, Mula. I'm not sure what plant that is. Giant water lily. What do we have here? I can't pronounce that. So yeah, anyway, some lovely postcards there. They were just sitting randomly on a shelf somewhere. Another random find was this tile that's been painted of this owl, and I just thought it was beautiful. I'm not sure how I'm going to hang it or where I'm going to place it, but it was beautiful, and I really love owls, so had to pick that one up. We've got a few packets of cards. I've been picking up a few packets of cards lately, actually. These ones are Happy Families, if you guys remember the card game Happy Families. I know I used to play this when I was a kid, so there are a couple different styles in here. Completely different illustration styles, which I think is quite cool. I love that about cards, how different they can be. So both exactly the same game, but both different illustration styles on the cards. So I think that's really cute. Sorry for the drilling if you can hear that, guys. I really hope you can't. Sort of vibrating here in my room. And then these ones, which are really sweet as well. Yeah, brings back memories. I really love this game growing up myself, so pop those ones over there. What else do we have, guys? We've got this here. Now, I actually have already had these before. I have found these before in a thrift shop, and I'd sold them on my Etsy store. Most of them had sold out, so I did pick up this when I found them. These are vintage recipe cards. So some are in black and white. I'm not sure why they do that. But yeah, they're vintage recipe cards, and I used to sell them in packs of 10. They're lots of fun, especially if you're making a cooking journal or something like that. I mean, these are from 1967, I believe, or 1969. Oh, 1967. And there's so many of them, and they're really interesting. Jewish bread, honey squares, and even, you know, they're fun to even make some of these recipes if you wanted to. So yeah, a whole tin of those. There's just absolute stacks of them. It comes like that. So I will probably end up selling those again, although I don't know if I'll be going back to Etsy. To be perfectly honest with you guys, I'm not really too happy with them at the moment. You know, I don't want to get into it, but all the stuff that they're doing with their shipping, and personally I find it a form of manipulation, and I don't really like it, and that's just being perfectly honest with you. So if I do go back to Etsy, it'll be while I'm thinking of something else, somewhere else to go. So that's that. We have a game here, which I thought was kind of neat. Beetle Drive. I don't know how you play it, but I got it for the game sheets in here, just because it's, you know, it's weird, it's unique, and it's fun. So, you know, if you're making a children's journal or something like that, these are really fun to pop into things like that. So that's why I grabbed that. Very interesting. The original Beetle Drive. Ideal for parties or beetle drives. I don't know what a beetle drive is, but yeah, it's kind of retro. Here we've got just a stationery pad. You're invited. I love these. So it's got a beautiful illustration on it here, and it's full of these invitation pads. So that's that. Over here we do have this, which is the art of pressed flowers, and it's sort of a box, and it comes with a kit to make your own pressed flowers and some paper and a book. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It was only a few dollars, and yeah, and it's got ideas on how you can use your pressed flowers and things like that. So I think, you know, it's spring now. It's first few days of spring, I think, here. Which, you know, to be honest, it really wasn't much of a winter here, you guys. It was still in its 20s during the day. Not really cold at night. A little bit chilly, but nothing much. So yeah, it wasn't much of a winter here. Now I'm sort of sad it's getting hotter and much more warmer now, but first day of spring, and yeah, hopefully we'll start to see some beautiful flowers popping up. So there's that. And I did grab a few books, you guys. So the first one I've got is this Russian reader. This was $1 or $2, and I really love getting these books with the different fonts in them. So I mean, this is just beautiful font, this Russian, if you can see there. It's just gorgeous. So I grabbed that for the pages. I could have stayed all day in this one shop, but I had to sort of be quick. Then we've got this book here, The Observer's Book of Cacti and Other Succulents. Whenever something says The Observer's Book of, I always grab it, because yeah, they're just fun little books. I think I've got a few which are wildflowers and things like that, and I've got these really cool retro pictures in them. Some are in black and white, some are in colour, some have got little illustrations. So that was, I think, $2, and yeah, it's really interesting. I don't have a whole lot of books that are to do with cactus, so there's that. And then I did grab this one, which is ferns. It's not really illustrations. I mean, there are some black and white ones, but lately I've really been loving ferns, and I think that's probably got to do with I love to go on rainforest walks and things like that, and I'm always seeing ferns. And I went on a beautiful, beautiful walk up in the Glasshouse Mountains. It was just stunning, you guys. If you guys are on Instagram, you would have seen, I think I posted, there was a tiny little, oh, what do you call it? It looked like a wallaby, but it was sort of a relation to a wallaby, and that was in the rainforest up there. And yeah, there were lots of ferns and things up there, and I love taking photos of them, and yeah, I just wanted to get a book on ferns, you know. So there's that one. Then we've got this book here, which is an atlas book. And one thing I have noticed, you guys, is with atlas books, I don't know if this is true or not, but I tend to notice that a lot of the children's atlas books, or like school atlas books, tend to be a bit more vibrant than your regular atlas books. I don't know if that's true completely, but it's just sort of something I've noticed, that the pictures, the atlases themselves seem to be a little bit more vibrant in colour. So that's why I did grab this one. This one is yeah, from Australia, so we've got some cool illustrations here, which is, it's really, really fun to pop into journals, things like this. Some sort of typography, are these called typography maps? I don't know. Yeah, so I had to pick that one up because I really love the vibrant atlases. I did pop into a few antique stores, and normally I don't really buy from antique stores. Occasionally I do, and this one I did because they had a box and it had, I think they were $1 each, so I picked up a few of these books. I've got a couple more here that were $1 each, and you know, these are from the 1950s, and the colours are just amazing, and the illustrations are so, so beautiful. So that sort of is like that. I can't leave something behind when it's sort of these, I don't know, you guys know what I mean, but they're just beautiful, vibrant, vintage illustrations. It's really interactive. It's just so, so, so sweet. So much history in it, and it's just beautiful. So there's that one, and the other one I picked up was this one, which was also $1. Once again, these beautiful, just beautiful illustrations. I don't tend to buy a whole heap of children's books, although I do, but not you know, as much as other books. But these illustrations, I just can't. I can't pass them up, you know. So there's that one as well. This one was not from the antique store, but once again, it was really, really cheap, and I can't pass them up when they're like that. And I got this for the cover, not really for the inside, because the inside's, I mean, it's got beautiful little black and white illustrations, but I just love the cover, and I thought they'd make a beautiful journal. Then we've got this one here, which is the garden handbook. I got this one because I thought actually this would make a nice journal cover as well, just being green, just left as it is, and inside sort of, you know, it's got those beautiful vibrant vintage colours again, and for some reason it had sheets of pink paper in it. I don't know why. I have no idea why, maybe for writing about your garden or something. But there is that one. Then I grabbed this one. This one was actually from the antique store as well, even though it says 1991. I guess that is considered antique now, isn't it? So I just don't like to think of it because I was born before then. But I thought this was really interesting because it's got some beautiful, what do you call it, like just the textures. It's got doilies and things that you can cut out. And these are lots of fun to put in your journals because it's a great way of adding texture without the bulk of texture. So like here, some beautiful doilies, just lovely things that you can cut out and place in your journals. These embroidery pieces. Really, really, I mean, look at that. It's beautiful. Lots of fun pictures that you can ad. I mean, that's just absolutely stunning. So yeah, lots of fun things in this one. So that one's The Gentlewoman's Diary, The Floral Arts, 1991. Then we've got just a couple more books here, guys. I'll just push this one aside. This one here was really interesting. Cottage Garden Year. I think this was $2 or $3. Okay, just link under there. But this is a beautiful book as well. It's got some beautiful illustrations in it. I think most pages have illustrations in this one, so it's a really, really lovely book. And it's one I don't have, so there's that one. And the last thing I did grab was this one, which had nothing on the cover. It was just blank, but it was in the gardening category, so it says The Uncommon Garden. Yeah, The Uncommon Garden. And on the inside there were some beautiful pictures in it, so I think this was $2 maybe. So yeah, some beautiful pictures in this one. So that's everything, guys. I think that's everything. Let me have a look around. Obviously I have been thrift shopping, you know, more than this. I just can't remember what I got when, so I thought I'd just share with you just this latest lot of finds from up in Noosaville. Some great op shops if any of you guys live up that way, so yeah, it'll be interesting to go back there one day. But I hope you guys have all been doing really well, and I hope to be back soon. I hope my creative mojo comes back. I kind of was thinking of a few things lately, so we'll see. Maybe they'll pan out and maybe I'll be able to make a video for you guys. But anyway, you guys, I hope you're having a wonderful start to the week, and hopefully I'll chat to you soon. Bye, guys.